Hey there, good looking. Join me for what is going to be a totally yummy total body stretch. We will hit every muscle in the body, so this is the perfect post-workout stretch routine, as well as great for after a run, hike, or bike ride. All you need is a stretch tie. I'm using one of my husband's old neckties, as well as a pair of yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, a couple of big tins of food will work as well. And if you're part of the 21-day Fit and Fierce Challenge, welcome to day 5. It's recovery day. All right, take off your shoes and let's go get started. Hi there, I'm PJ Wren, a certified personal trainer for almost 3 decades now. I help people over the age of 40 get fit and fierce, and I'm so happy you hopped onto this stretch session. All right, let's begin down on the mat. We'll warm up the spine with some cat and cows. Wrists under shoulders, knees apart underneath the hip, or underneath the shoulders. Inhale, allow the shoulders to roll away from the earlobes and find that neutral spine. Great. Now, let the low back sag, the head looks up, going into spinal extension. And press the ground away and come up, spinal flexion. So if you don't like flexing your spine, you'll just go to neutral. Flow through this. As I said, it's a nice way to warm up the spine. Lubricate the joints in the vertebrae. And one more. Stay in this position, left hand light behind the ear, bring the left elbow to right elbow, and then rotate through your mid-back and pull the elbow up. Now if you find you're quite tight on this, what you can do is sit back on your heels so you don't do the movement through your low back. This is working into your T-spine, getting some rotation. I personally like to sit back on my heels on this one, so play around with it. Let's do one more. Left hand down, right hand light behind the ear. Bring that elbow under and then rotate it up and look up to the ceiling. If you have any shoulder issues, this could be one of the areas we need to focus on, what we call your thoracic spine or your T-spine. It does get quite tight on us as we get older, as well as when we do things like sit in front of computers or hold our phones in front of us with poor posture. Let's do one more. And release. Take your yoga blocks, bring them in front of you. You can also use a pillow for this particular one. Big toes together, knees are open. Bring your hands as wide as the yoga blocks, thumbs pointed up for me, and drop the head through and hold. We're stretching into your lats, side of your body, and the low spine. And just really settle the hips back. Maybe the head can get all the way to your ground. The elbows are fairly straight, and the arms are positioned almost like the letter V. So if you need to separate the blocks some more to get a deeper stretch to the side of the body, try that. Two more breaths. And come on up. Separate your yoga blocks. Place your right foot in between each block. Sink that left hip into the mat. So you may need to slide it back or pick it up and place it behind you further. So we've got quite a deep lunge happening here. And then we'll position the blocks. Now you have a couple different heights, right? With the yoga block, you can go quite high. All right, so you've got those heights. If you can get your hands to the floor, go for it. Now let's walk this right leg to the outside, bring the yoga blocks right in, drop this left hip, and you roll onto that right edge of the right foot. Now, hold it here, or If you want, take it deeper, bring the forearms down to your blocks. And once again, we're dropping that right knee away from the midline of the body. I've rolled onto the outside edge of that foot, and then I've squared my shoulders to my mat, pressing that left hip towards our mat, getting a nice deep stretch in this back leg as well as some blood flow into the front leg. Two more breaths. If you want, maybe even try moving that back hip side to side a bit. Don't be afraid to do a little bit of movement as we hold the stretches. It might be just what you need at the moment. And come on out of it. All right, so let's do the other side. So we started out with your foot in between the blocks. So left foot now. Walk that right knee further back and sink that right hip down. Now we'll walk that left leg out. Bring the yoga blocks in front. Drop on the outside edge of that left foot. Push that right hip to the ground. And then from here, you could stay here or move it down onto your forearms. Trying to keep the shoulders fairly squared. This side is a lot tighter on me. You might find one side a little tighter as well. As you hold a stretch through this series, you're going to find that first tightness subside as we breathe and hold it. At that point, feel free if you want to take a bit deeper. And 2 more breaths. And come on up. Lying on your right side. Have one yoga block in front of you. Again, a pillow will work on this one as well. On your right side, bring that top leg, your left heel towards the bum, and then pull the knee back. Now, if grabbing onto your foot or ankle isn't available to you, that's where you'll use that yoga tie or your old necktie that you might be using to lengthen your arm, basically. You'll wrap it around your foot. And then from there, we pull the knee back so it's not in front of the body. Nice stretch into the quadricep. Really beneficial if you are doing this after a run or a bike ride. Now let's bring that knee in front, and we're going to place it on top of a pillow or a yoga block so the knee is comfortable and at 90 degrees, and then we'll straighten that other leg. Bring the arms in front, lined up with the shoulder. Take this left arm and spinal twist. Drop it behind you as best you can. If you need to, maybe grab the other yoga block and place it under that left hand. If you're able to, you turn your gaze towards the left fingertips. Stretching into the spine, side of the hip, and then across the left side in the arm and shoulder. As best you can, you just want your body to be dead weight. So do a mental scan. Are you holding any muscle tension anywhere? Just release it. And lift that left arm, bring it back on top of the right, and roll over, and let's do the other side. So you may want to move your yoga blocks so that they're available to you when we get into this side now. Top leg, your right leg, grab onto the foot, ankle, and push the knee back, stretching into the quad. Just let your head drop into the arm on your side here. Again, we're just trying to relax as much of the rest of the body that we can as we stretch these different areas in the body. Couple more breaths. And now let's take this right leg, bring the knee, or pardon me, the hip at 90, and the inside of the knee is going to rest on that yoga block. Walk that left leg so it's lined up with the hip and straight. Arms extended, shoulder height, and open. And turn the gaze, if you can, towards your right fingertips. I've moved my other yoga block so it's underneath my right wrist. And then just relax the body. This is great as well if you did just finish a bike ride. When you're bike riding, you've got that forward fold, sometimes rounding the front of the shoulders. So here we're getting a nice stretch into the pec and front shoulder. And can you twist a bit more? Maybe walk that left shoulder away. And let's pick up that right arm now, sweep it over the body, and close it on top of the left. Grab your yoga tie or old necktie. And on this one, we're going to be lying on our back. If it feels better to have a pillow under your head, try that. What we don't want is that front of your neck opened up. We want the back of the neck long. Let's take your right foot, place it on the tie, and then just roll back and extend it up to get into hamstring. Wrap it around the hand if that feels comfortable. Just don't have it too tight. And then from here, you can press the leg away, press the heel up, or keep a slight bend in the knee. Again, whatever's going to feel best for you right now. What you don't want to do, though, is feel shaking in the hamstring. If you do, I want you to soften the knee and let your stretch go a little bit. Now from this position, if you're at 90 degrees with this right leg, feel free to straighten your other one on the ground. And as mentioned, back of the neck is long. Maybe just closing your eyes and just feeling that wonderful stretch back of the thigh. Relax the shoulders. If you feel that initial tightness, if it's gone in that hamstring, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, see if you can draw the leg towards you a bit more. Place the tie in the left hand. Right arm's going to extend out to your side, lined up with your shoulder, and now just drop this leg out, but press the heel away, just half away, so you're not all the way down to the ground. We're not twisting it through the low back on this one. We're just trying to stretch into our glutes. The fibers are on a diagonal plane, so by bringing our leg across like this, we're getting a stretch into the gluteus maximus. You might feel a bit in the side of the hip as well. Bring the leg back up, bend your left leg now and cross that ankle over your left thigh. Now this might be enough of a stretch for you into the hip. If so, please just hold here. If you want to intensify it, lift the left leg up, hands come behind that left thigh or even deeper on top of the left shin. Now here's where you can really change and improve the stretch. You want to make sure that that left knee is lined up with the outside of the left shoulder. So it's not coming on a diagonal and you're not dropping to your right side. And then the rest of the body, you're relaxing as best you can. Just focusing on that breath. Maybe your eyes are closed. And just enjoying this peace with your body right now. Right foot to ground, left foot here, tie over top of the left foot. Find that stretch in the hamstring. And again, if it feels good, feel free to straighten the other leg. Maybe you're holding onto the tie, you've got it wrapped around your hand, just don't have it pulling tight on the hand. Maybe do another check. Is that back of the neck long? Maybe pick the head up, slide the chin in, lower down. And then release in the shoulders. Release into that right hip, right leg. Maybe even allow that right foot just to drop out. And then deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, can we draw that left leg in a bit closer? And again, it's totally fine to have softness in the knee or a bent knee. Place the tie in the right hand. Left arm extends, lined up with your shoulder, and just drop this left leg out just a bit so it's halfway between the ground and where we were. Press the knee away. Anchor yourself with that left side of the body so we keep that body on the mat. Just try to stretch a bit into the glute and, like I said, into the side of the hip, IT band as well. Now let's take that glute stretch even deeper. Bring the leg back up. Right foot on the ground, left ankle crossed over the thigh. Stay here or grab onto the back of the right thigh or right shin, and then making sure that that right knee lines up with the outside of the right shoulder. So not total outside. You still want to keep both left and right low back on the mat. Kind of lined up with the shoulder. A couple more breaths here. And we're going to finish off either two ways you can finish off with me. You can stay here, extend the legs, drop the arms behind you, or if you're like me and suffer with slipped discs, herniated discs, you can join me and do a mini cobra. All right, so those are your options. If you're with me, feet close together, elbows under the shoulders, let the belly drop to your mat, extending the spine. And just hold here. We're here for a couple of minutes, focusing on the breath, And just feeling the body, how it's feeling. If you opted to stay on your back, let the fingers curl. Let the feet drop out. And have the feet as wide as your mat. If you're with me, press the ears or the shoulders away from the ears. Drop the belly to the ground. And press yourself up. Come into a kneeling position. Tuck your back toes under. Get a nice stretch into the bottoms of your feet. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to working with you next session. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. All you need is a stretch tie. I'm using one of my husband's old neckties and a pair of yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, grab a couple of big cans of tinned food. All right? Awesome. And I forgot to say what day the challenge it is. But I got my shirt on. It's always nice to be dressed for a workout. Ow. Ow. Okay.